A lot of folks don't have a historical memory of what this area was like in the 70s and the early 80s. And without that historical memory, if you will, it's really hard for folks to understand how much this neighborhood has improved.
20 years ago, I was out there, on the street. I wasn't homeless, but I was an addict. And 20 years ago, or 25 years ago, right here in Portland, there were people lining the street that were selling dope and that were using, and there was alcoholics in the gutter, and I mean, Skid Row is exactly what it was.
Old Town was really a problem. A lot of empty buildings, a few flop houses, a few, we hardly call them grocery stores, they mainly sold cheap wine.
The neighborhood is so much better. And so much has been done to improve this neighborhood, and particularly the efforts of Central City Concern, not only in their programming, but in the restoration of so many buildings, and the restoration of people's lives.
On one hand you had services, and on the other hand you had housing, and it wasn't really probably until we'd been 10 years into doing this that we figured out that the services needed to match the housing. So then it sort of become this long-term thing about matching services to housing, and it's sort of like we invented this supported housing model.
I think what we believe in is the possibility of transformation for everybody. And people start in different places and they end up in different places. But basically we believe that process starts with the building of a community for people by introducing them into a community where they develop a set of peer relationships that are positive and where people get guidance about how to live a new life.
You add the mentoring piece in it, which is not treatment, it's mentoring. It's a life skill that I'm being taught from someone who has been in that exact same position I was at. And then you have this housing along with it. It's like that's the two most important pieces for me. Because I could have gone through treatment with my eyes closed, but what was different was having that housing and having that mentor to come in and see if my room is clean, to see if I am working on some life habits that will, sustain me.
Those kind of good works and taking on that responsibility by our tenants has demonstrated that we're not a liability anymore, we're an asset.
Central City Concern has partnered with all the business, all the property owners, and has really opened up their doors to the whole community. Without Central City Concern, I don't believe this neighborhood would be the way that it is, and I don't believe that my business would still be here.